Can hollow points get you imprisoned? No, but yes. So, this topic has been pretty hot right now, and it's not that easy to answer in a very straightforward manner. Can the use of hollow point ammo will land you in jail? Will using this particular bullet will get you into trouble with the law even if you position yourself in, let us say, justifiable self-defense? Before I answer these controversial inquiries, let me introduce myself first. Hello everyone, I'm your boy Ted from Line 45. In this video, I will try my best to address various pressing questions regarding hollow point ammo, whether they are legal or not, or whether you are allowed to even use one for your self-defense firearms. Keep in mind that I am not a lawyer, and there are aspects of this topic that actually require the expertise of lawyers who specialize in cases relating to your choice of ammo. Before we get underway, please remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons. I know it is a chore, but these simple clicks help my channel immensely. Now, let's return to the video. So before we start, let me give you a brief lecture about what hollow point bullets are. For the uninitiated, these hollow point bullets are types of bullets that expand, hence the reason they call them expanding bullets. They have been in the market since the 19th century, so they aren't exactly new anymore. Back in the day, they called hollow point bullets express bullets, due to their ability to travel faster than the conventional full metal jacket ammo. In short, they have lots of velocity in them. And since they travel fast, they also expand significantly as they make a full stoppage within their target. These destructive qualities of hollow point rounds are due to their construction. They have a tip that has been hollowed, which people often call the pit. This design enables these rounds to provide excessive stopping power. As they stop within their targets, the bullets just don't stay idle. Instead, they expand, which results in more damage. Can't full metal jacket rounds do the same thing? No. You see, the core of these FMJ rounds are softer as compared to hollow points, and they are being housed in those rugged metal alloys. This construction lets these bullets maintain a more predictable trajectory. Once they penetrate their target, they just glide to the flesh, organs, or tissues, and eventually exit. Unlike hollow points, they don't stay and expand, resulting in a more humane way of taking down targets. If you have been into hunting, you probably have noticed that many other hunters prefer using hollow point rounds over full metal jacket bullets. After all, it makes sense, right? But at the same time, this particular destructive power that comes with these HP rounds is one of the biggest and most compelling points about their questionable legality. So here's the million-dollar question. Will hollow point bullets send you to jail? There are multiple answers to this question, and in most of them, the service or expertise of lawyers is required. The legality behind the use of these hollow point rounds can either be justified or prohibited, depending on the case you are in. In some cases, the authorities would even question you why you are using a hollow point round in the first place, even if it is just for self-defense. They will press you hard on your motivation and intention, why you use such a deadly round, and other stuff that only a legal counsel can help you navigate. For the most part, self-defense is just self-defense. Once there's a justifiable threat, people can either retreat or fight back. Multiple states, such as the likes of Alabama, Florida, Iowa, Kansas, and many others have this stand your ground law. This law indicates in certain circumstances, civilians like you and me can revoke the duty to retreat when danger arises. This means that in particular situations, people can opt to use force to defend themselves without first attempting to retreat from the threat or emergency. But even with the stand your ground law, legal loopholes might still question the means of self-defense, especially if you are using highly controversial weapons and ammunition, such as the hollow points. Hollow point ammunition is touted to be illegal because it is said to possess more destructive power than full metal jacket rounds. But in reality, there's no state in America where civilians aren't allowed to use hollow point rounds, except in one particular state, New Jersey. In the Garden State, civilians aren't legally allowed to load hollow point bullets in their carry firearms, with the exception of hunting or home defense. The only policy that declared that these hollow points were illegal was the 1899 Hague Convention. But even if the Hague Convention said that it is illegal, doesn't mean that it's entirely prohibited for use. You see, the 1899 Hague Convention is an international war treaty that indicates what should be used and what should not be used in a war. Wars are destructive, so the treaty argues that it shouldn't be more than that. Among the treaty banned is the use of hollow point bullets, which I mentioned earlier. But here's the catch. This is an international treaty, so there are no particular clauses or sections stating that these hollow point rounds can't be used domestically. At the same time, the United States never ratified the convention. Technically, the convention was signed in 1954, but it is still pending ratification due to the fact that it hasn't been passed to the Senate yet. Even if I am not a lawyer, it's pretty clear that these hollow point bullets are only illegal if you are not an American or a bona fide resident of the United States. This is not legal advice. This is just my opinion on how I see things. But for the most part, you should still exercise caution whenever you are planning to use hollow points. So here's the next question. If they are not explicitly illegal, why do people still label them that way? Well, the answer to this question is pretty simple. Anything that has something to do with guns, ammo, and firearms will always spark controversies. Whether you like it or not, that will always be the case, especially here in the United States, where the anti-gun movement is growing strong every passing year. When the proponents of the gun ban learn that there is ammo that is more destructive than the others, they will automatically jump on the bandwagon to incite fire into the issue. I don't want to make this topic political, but that's the very reason I see why there's a heat to these hollow points. But because of this heat, I want people and gun enthusiasts like me to exercise caution whenever using these hollow point rounds. Here's the deal. Even when these hollow point bullets are not considered illegal by law, a prosecutor in your state can still pin you because of your use of them, especially if you use ammo with names like Shredder or REP bullets. However, there was this one case in 1992, which people touted as the Winchester Black Talon scare. The Black Talon is a hollow point bullet produced by Winchester, but immediately backfired against the company when it was used during the 1993 101 California street shooting, with one media report stating that this bullet kills you better, and another report describing its 6 razor-like claws unfold on impact, expanding to nearly 3 times the bullet's diameter. So I guess it's important that you be careful in choosing the brand name of your hollow points. Fortunately, most of the top brands out there aren't too keen on making their products stand out by placing questionable names on them. Always remember that prosecutors can argue with the type of ammo that you use, and could use this subject to draw a conclusion that you are out there to kill someone instead of just defending yourself. To be honest, this is just a court tactic to appeal to the jurors' emotions, and it has nothing to do with the law. Hence, as I keep on mentioning, it's crucial that you have an attorney with you who has an understanding of the intricacies of firearms and ammunition, so that you will stay out of jail if you find yourself dealing with justified deadly force. And because we just mentioned the intricacies of law when it comes to carrying firearms, I will just have to mention this. It's really crucial that you only use a low-profile carry firearm. Minimal attachments are preferable, and no other excessive customizations like specialized plating and custom grips. A full-size 1911 pistol or a pistol caliber carbine could really raise the eyes of the prosecutor, so you really need to avoid them for an everyday carry weapon. Even if your intentions are clean, convincing the prosecutors and jurors, as well as changing their impressions, would be difficult if you are using high-powered firearms and ammo. But let me be clear, hollow points aren't entirely illegal for carry use in the United States, with the exception of New Jersey. Because of their superb stopping power, these rounds are particularly important in stopping 4-legged and 2-legged threats, and might as well become the thin line between life and death. Using them is still justifiable, but make sure that you use them whenever it is only necessary. Otherwise, you will be on the bad side of the court. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more gun videos like this, just click the subscribe button and notification bell. Take care and stay safe.